Today on In the Woodyard, Kenny pushes a pile of wood into another pile of wood, and he takes out the trash and dumps a bunch of debris, and then after that he pushes a piece of plastic under the processor, and he thinks he's special for doing it. He thinks he's fancy. That's what he thinks.
Proud of himself. He thinks he's fancy. Fire good.
So today we're relocating the processor from where it was in yesterday's video or the other day's video. We're only moving it a little bit, but this nice small unit is real easy to hook up and then pull over to a new area and process wood just a little ways away, so we can move a little bit closer to the log pile and put it in an area where we can just let it run right off into the ground, and then Kenny can push it. So time to get some work done. Here we go.
Raise it up a bit. You don't hit the jack. Am I turning here with the tractor? No, you got plenty of room here. Oh, so you can come into it. Yeah. I see what you mean. Well, yeah. Maybe put a little cockeyed even. Yeah, you can do that. Up to 90. I can come into it. Yeah. So just swing your front that way. That's all you got to do. I think we should do a little bit of an angle. I ain't got to make a 90 off. Right. Yeah, because if you can drive into it, lift it up and just back over here, and then you're still making a Y. Exactly. Yeah. So this is where the oak was on yesterday's video. Now we're getting ready for the maple. This is over here. A little more. That's probably good. Take the jack down right away. Set it down. Careful. Safety. It's almost. Oh, there we go. Yesterday's video that you saw, we were right here with the processor, and that's where the fire was, but I just shoveled it up with a shovel and put it over here where my new workstation is. We moved the processor over, you saw that, so we got that in place. So my new fire is going to be right here, and all the wood that he's got right over there is what's going to go on the live deck right here. So we got a couple hours of daylight left, so we're going to try to get a bunch done and get a good head start on it, and tomorrow we want to hammer on all that maple as much as we can. So that's what's happening. It's more processing.
Kenny got the live deck full, and I'm cleaning the window off because you got to be able to see what you're doing, and when it's that cold, just breathing against it, somehow it builds up frost on the window, and sawdust sticks to it and oil sticks to it. And I'm running all the functions again because we only had the machine shut off for it wasn't even 20 minutes, but all the hydraulic fluid in the lines cools down really fast when it's 15 below zero like it was this day, and we're in the shade. So we find that this machine cools off pretty fast, and when we're running, you want it as nice and warm as possible, because your detent will work really good on your RAM as it goes back in. But if it's cold, the detent, it won't go all the way back in, and a lot of machines are like that. We were talking with our buddy Ed, and he's got a Dyna, and he said it's the same thing. His Dyna, the detent won't work when it's cold. It's got to be nice and warm. So I'm just running all the functions to get all the hydraulic fluid, you know, through the system and get it warmed back up, because once you get it warmed up, she runs beautiful. So that's kind of what we're doing here, just running all the functions. And now I think I'm gonna bring a piece in here now and start cutting. And the cutting is what takes the most power from the engine. Running that saw and that hard maple. This is, some people call it rock maple, hard maple, sugar maple, whatever you want to call it, but it's hard wood, and when it's cold and frozen, fresh cut wood, it splits and cuts hard. I think that's why they call it hard maple. It's harder than oak by quite a bit. The oak cuts real easy compared to hard maple. And I think I had sharpened the chain. You guys probably didn't see that. I sharpened that before we started. And as far as sharpening, I've been doing it probably like twice a day. I'll sharpen it before we start, and then like halfway through the day. It seems to work pretty good. About every 4 or 5 hours we sharpen it, unless I see sparks and we have mud or rocks, you know, frozen into the wood that you can't see because there's snow on, ice and like that stuff. It happens. The tip tray, I'm bringing it in, and we found after running it a lot that we ended up not using that final cut tray as much now. We only really use it on really big pieces where you can't hold it up, but it's faster, we found, to run the machine. And you'll see that on upcoming videos where we just reach around with the left hand as the piece is being fed in. You kind of hold it up so it doesn't drop in, and then you clamp it and then pull your hand out and cut. So it works pretty good. The other thing I try to do once you get rolling is you try to, as your ram's going forward, you bring your log forward at the same time, like that. So you get your log coming forward all at the same time. But it takes a while to get in a groove, and as the machine gets warmed up, it seems to run a little bit better too. I had a piece get jammed here, little piece. So you run the elevator backwards and it unjams it. But then we added a rubber flap. I think we did that the next day, and it worked. It solved the problem of all the jams. So it worked really good. So anyway, we're off to the races. So I think we're gonna go till it's dark here. So splitting happens right now. So here I dropped in a log and a second one rolled in, and I could tell it wasn't going to get any better. So what happens on this small processor, you can walk around and get it out of there pretty easily. So what we found happens best is to just take the pickaroo and pull it off the back end and throw it on the ground, and Kenny picks it back up and then reloads it. If it's a big piece, we kind of just back it out, and then Kenny will catch it with the forks and then reload it. That seems to work. It's the fastest just to do it this way. Just pull the one out of there. Now, since we've done this video, we added some things to the roller. You see that bar that's on the live deck right in front of the saw? There's a bar that goes across. It's between the gauge for measuring and the saw. When the saw is up, you can see it right behind the clamp right now. It's right in that little triangle there. We added some stars there, one on each end, and that on the roller, so it stops the second piece from falling in and helps advance the piece that you do want, and that kind of solved that issue. But the biggest problem we had here, and we kind of knew it, we're on a slope. Everything is sloping to the left. You can see that it's not just the camera angle or the optics, but we are on a downhill. So the logs tend to want to roll into the trough, and we've definitely found out that in the future we need to set the live deck lower than the trough, because you don't want your logs rolling in on you. You want them to actually not want to roll in. So if you can set up at all, either perfectly level would be, nice, or a slight downhill away from the processor, like just a little bit. Yeah, a little, maybe 2-3 inches lower on the legs than where the log drops into the trough would be probably ideal. That way you're not running the logs downhill so that they take off on you. So you got to be kind of quick on the trigger. You saw how that one there, I threw it in and then quick pulled the other ones back so they don't roll in on you. So you kind of get in the habit of doing that. But having those stars that we put on, the little prongs we put on the roller bar that drives the chain seem to solve that problem too. So anyway, you can see I'm advancing as the ram's going forward, and the saw is starting to warm up, the hydraulics are warming up and starting to get into groove, and you can see the size of the pieces. This is the size stuff that I would want, because of the size of the wood is really nice, and we're on an 8-way, so I'm only splitting like 4 pieces. The top wings really aren't doing anything. You can see the top wing and even the middle one's not even being used. So we're getting like 3 pieces. Sometimes you'll get 4, sometimes you get 5 pieces on this size, because Kenny didn't want it too small. You can see, watch this one when it goes through. See how it's underneath the middle wing even? So we're getting like 3 pieces. You're getting your middle split and then your 2 bottom wings coming out. You can see there it goes right underneath. That way we're not getting too small of pieces for him. So
proud of himself. He thinks he's fancy. Fire good. We are done for the day. It got dark on us. Kenny used the lights at the end here. We backed up. We finished the deck off.
That's enough.
I'll show you what we got done. We got a bunch done. We got a good start. So there's a little pile here at the end of the elevator. You guys saw him doing the pushing because he pushed it up out of the way because we're just letting it go right on the ground. And we got a pretty good pile over here. There's probably, I don't know, 3 cords maybe. A bunch of wood. Machine's working good. Got her sharpened up again, and we hit some rocks and some stone. I saw sparks flying, so we're still on the original chain that we got when we picked it up. So we've cut a lot of stuff.
Between your place and here, we've cut almost 5 semi-truckloads.
Yeah, with one chain. We figured, we just looked at the chain now, and we figured the chain is maybe half gone, something like that.
Well, that oak I had was dirty.
A lot of rocks and stuff. So it's
the
404
oak
chains.
that you had was dirty too.
Yeah.
It's for some reason oak is dirty. I don't know why.
Yeah, dirty oak.
I think it's just when you buy it and who has it and where it was laying.
How long it sits on the ground, that kind of stuff. But.
Well, this oak that we finished today, they cut like 2 years ago, and it was muddy. The reason they got off the job because it was too muddy. So you know what that means? It was all piled in the ditch, in the mud.
Yep.
And then, of course, it froze, and he brings it to me frozen. You can't see every piece of mud.
And the oak you saw in yesterday's video, at least you should have. And then today we started on the maple here, and we finished the oak up. That was in yesterday's video, but I don't know if you can see this. It's probably almost too dark for the camera to pick up, but I'm gonna walk over to the pile of maple that's here. There's 2 stacks. We've already been eating into it pretty good, so I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, just barely. Barely I can see it on the back of the camera here. So the big stuff's in the back and the small stuff's out front. So if I had to guess, there's 4, and there might be 8 more cords. 7, 8, something like that. I don't know. We'll finish it tomorrow. That's our plan. We're going to go to, maybe not tomorrow. For you guys, it'll be the next day. We're finishing it tomorrow. For you, it might be the next day because we might be going to Kenny's buddy Jerry's tomorrow, and in the morning, first thing when it's 25 below, and doing some garage work.
We might be doing
some welding,
some fabricating tomorrow.
We might extend the seat on the chair.
Yep.
And then I brought along my what you call it?
3-point hitch.
3-point hitch, and we might be designing some railroad weights to go on there to get rid of.
Bert's been bitching about Chris's
inner tubes. He doesn't like my tubes. Yeah.
He doesn't like the sausages anymore.
Because he has to handle the sausages too much.
Then he doesn't put them back on. So we're gonna make something simple.
We're gonna make something we can take on and off with weights. But I want to be able to see the hitch back here. Is like Kenny found out. You want the hitch on there for moving the trailer and for moving the splitter. And
I was really impressed. I did not think I was going to lift up that oak.
The trailer, yeah.
This is a little tiny tractor.
It's a baby weenie tractor.
But I'll tell you what, it's got new hydraulic cylinders and it's got a new bigger pump. It's like double the flow.
We're going to talk about that on a video in a couple days. We're going to do a video in Kenny's garage when he's got the tractor. Maybe we can do that tonight even.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, he did some improvements. We'll talk about that. Yeah, maybe that'll be tomorrow you'll see that. And then the day after that we'll go to Jerry's, and the day after that we'll finish this. But we're just been working steady. So that's it for tonight. We're going to go drink some beer.
Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.